Right, so this is the Who's Listening podcast, Overrated 11, Premier League, we should say. So what we're going to be doing is the lads are going to make a case for each position individually. So we'll start with goalkeeper. They're going to make a case for who they think is the most overrated goalkeeper in the Premier League, and I'm going to be the adjudicator. So I will listen to your arguments and decide who should go in. If I think you've missed someone who could be a potential, then I'll put that out there for discussion, and we can decide between us whether we think they should go in. Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be some controversial ones in here. So what we'll do is we'll go position by position. We'll go Josh 2, Dan, Josh 1, go around, and then we'll make a decision on who we think should go in that team. So goalkeeper, Josh, who are you saying?
I've gone for Emi Martinez.
Yeah, that would be mine, 100%.
Yeah, said he lives heavily off the penalty shootout 4 years ago. Mistakes and
his like antics,
yeah.
Like he's got like that personality that gets him in the front. But
5 clean sheets this season. Petrovic has more.
Oh God,
yeah, 6.
And also think it was his fuck up last season that cost Villa Champions League, wasn't it, in the Man United game? And like you said, I think he makes mistakes.
And
they just get like brushed over, don't they? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how Villa fans feel. It'd be interesting to know how Villa fans feel about him, because he's also like openly tried to fucking leave.
Yeah, he's wanted to leave like twice.
He's like waved to the fans about 15 times in the last 15 games.
He went off crying like end of last season.
Yeah, it's like, so I don't know how invested he really is in them either, and he's kind of maybe he's a little bit above his station, but
yeah.
Dan, who have you gone for?
I mean, I've always liked Martinez. I think he's got something about him. He's got the devil in him. I think he was a big part of Argentina winning that
He
World
was,
Cup.
yeah.
No, he was, but that's what I mean.
But I am also, I'm gonna fucking absolutely do myself over by picking a really fucking good goalkeeper here, David Raya. Again, fucking best defensive record in the league. But he's got such a solid defense behind him. And again, for overrated, I'm picking players who I think are good, but probably rated higher than I think they should be.
Yeah, or like everybody else thinks they're great.
Yeah.
But like they're not as good as people think.
In my opinion, yes. So Raya, I checked out, was I think kind of 16th goalkeeper in the league for goal prevention in terms of the shots that he's received that he should have maybe stopped.
Yeah, he does make some like unbelievable saves, doesn't he?
Makes some spectacular saves.
He also does let in some things where you think, was it him with the penalties where it's like he like dives before the person's kicked? I saw like some video and it was like he's literally so committed to the way he's going that like a Bruno Fernandes can literally just like have him dive before he's even kicked the ball.
Is he Spain's number 1?
No,
it's not. It's the
Unai. What's his fucking name?
Simon.
Yeah. Bilbao keeper.
Josh, did you say you were Martinez as well?
Yeah, Martinez as well. Yeah, I just think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Like, he's not as good as people think he is. I know he's a World Cup winner and he was unbelievable, but I think he's just dropped off.
But do you not like he had that unbelievable game in the final?
Yeah.
But there's like so many keepers that have had the odd unbelievable game.
Yeah.
You look at like
he keeps getting nominated for records because of 4 years ago, because of what he did for Argentina, and I just think it's just crazy. Like, I think he heavily lives off the fact that Argentina won the World Cup.
Yeah,
Villa did have a good defensive record a few years back, and I think he was a big part of that when he first came.
He's definitely on the decline, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I think you go 5 years ago, he wouldn't have been in this conversation, whereas now. So yeah, I think we have to go with Martinez because he would have been my pick as well, and 2 of you have done that, so that's fine. Obviously, formation's going to be 4-3-3. So
what is it? I've done 4-4-2.
Well. 4-3-3, the formation. So, what about right back? Who are we going with most overrated right back?
I've gone Frimpong, and the reason being he just does not suit the back formation Liverpool player. He's naturally an attacking right wing back, and the price they pay for him just doesn't warrant being a right back.
They started playing him right striker, didn't they? In the end, it's like that's where.
And I feel like if you're a really good player, I feel like you can adapt. And I just don't think he is adapting to play in the right back position in the formation that Liverpool play.
Yeah, I mean his skill set is primarily the attacking side, isn't it?
Which is where Salah is, which is just not going to play there for now.
Fair. Dan, what are you saying?
I've gone Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto came through 2 or 3 years ago and looked like he was going to be a phenom. I remember him flying down the wing constantly then, but he just doesn't seem to have kicked on. In terms of, and I looked at these stats and I think they kind of back up my opinion. So he's in the lower part, stats for things like duels won, things like blocks. Also, like, you might say that's not his game. You might say that he's more an attacking fullback, but he's got something like four I think goal contributions this year. And to me, he's part of why Chelsea, I'm never quite confident in them defensively, especially if Reece James isn't on the pitch.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, I've gone for Reece James.
Have you?
Yeah, I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's as good as people make him out to be, and especially with the injuries. And I don't think he's England's number one choice, like which a lot of people do. But yeah, I'm going.
Do you think
James.
he's not England's number one choice purely because of his injuries rather than like his ability? Or I'll tell you what I struggle with him. He just looks so nonchalant in everything he does. Like he looks like he doesn't want to be on the football pitch sometimes, doesn't he? He's just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
no, definitely. I think Tino's better. Livramento should be starting over him.
Yeah, I mean, fitness-wise, they're both
just
crocs, aren't they?
both
Really?
Yeah.
I think to be honest though, those are two of England's best right backs. Like they are the two England best right backs in my opinion. Him and Livramento.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but I think it does skew your perception somewhat when they get a reputation, rightly or wrongly, a sick note. And but my history, I'm never going to criticise someone who's constantly ill. But James, I don't know, he had so much potential, right?
He did. He had a lot of potential. I don't think he's lived up to it.
Yeah, so it's like he does fall into an overrated.
But I feel like the Chelsea fans still think he's up there. Like, still think he's the best.
Yeah.
I think it's been really good for them this season.
He has. This season he's been good.
Yeah, I think you look like Dalot is like, you can't really say he's massively rated, but like he shouldn't even be on a football pitch in my opinion. So like you can say he's overrated, the fact that he even gets into
you have to be rated to be overrated.
Yeah. I think you could have said maybe Wan-Bissaka before.
He was on my pre-list.
But again, I think he's kind of had a bit of a resurgence of form, hasn't he? So he wouldn't fall into it. I don't think there's many other
I think there's Pedro Porro as well. I think he was rated as he came from Man City. He was at Sporting Sporting and Tottenham bought him. He's just brilliant right back. He's getting assists, but he's just
he's rubbish now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we're going to pick from the three that you've got, I would probably go Frimpong. I think Gusto definitely, but I think Frimpong is rated more. I think the difference between where people rate them and where they are, Gusto's probably closer than what Frimpong is. So we'll go Frimpong. We'll go left back now. So
Myers Lewis Skelly. I've said this is he's more overhyped than overrated because he's young.
Also think he's not actually a left back, is he?
He's
a
not
central midfielder.
He's central midfielder, but I feel like Arsenal fans especially overrate people really. Overrate people the most. He's still young, might turn out good, but just so over-exaggerated hype last season. Arsenal fans claim he's the best left back in the world or the league, and proven this season. I think
Calafiori's
a better player, and Arteta's only played him I think 14 times this season.
Yeah,
started only half of them, if not more less. But yeah, I've got Myers Lewis Skelly. Although I do think he will come good. He's more overhyped than overrated.
Yeah, fair.
Arteta doesn't trust him at all.
No,
I think he'd rather play.
Well, he gets fucking.
He also been sent off twice.
He gets booked all the time. He's rash as hell, isn't he?
Last season, I think he got 2 red cards, or maybe this season 2 red cards. And just think for an 18, 19-year-old getting 2 red cards is crazy.
I've gone Jed Spence because again he's a player who seemed to pick up a lot of hype towards the end of last season, and I think he had a couple of strong performances against Salah and against Man City as well. But he seems to be a player who turns up for the big games and then the rest of the season he disappears. He is a player who took a while to come through to break into the first team.
Yeah, he got a lot of hate for years, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And maybe I don't know. Maybe he's just taking a dislike to him because he seems quite cocky and he seemed quite full of himself after those performances.
Yeah, he uploads a lot of pictures, doesn't he, and stuff of him with the fucking players on a dog lead and stuff feed me your wingers and stuff. He's silent when Alanga ruined him last night.
Exactly, I watched that and he made Alanga look like Overmars or someone like that. Alanga was just skinning him from every angle. Yeah. And so for that reason, I don't think it certainly doesn't match the extent to which he rates himself, I think, and some Spurs fans rate him.
Fair.
I've gone Andy Robertson. It's a big shout, but I just don't think he's the player he was, and I think a lot of people think he is still. Simple.
It's a fair argument to say that people probably still think he's like, because I see him put in the conversation. People say he's the best left back in Premier League history.
And he's
It's
not.
like-
He's
He's
not
not.
even
He's
close.
like, not
Yeah.
even
That's
like,
That's Ashley Cole.
Ashley
That's
Cole,
Ashley Cole.
and it's
He
also
is in the
Ashley Cole
conversation.
by a fucking margin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
there's not
yeah.
anyone that's remotely close to him. I
No.
don't think.
I do think he is though in terms of like player. I think he's in the top 5, top
Yeah, I
6.
think
What, like still?
Not still, no,
Overall,
no, no.
all time.
Overall, like Slot doesn't really play him, but you have
No.
Kirkes now. But it's like,
I think the argument I saw for him being best was like, look how many assists he's got compared to Ashley Cole. It's like you do realise like when Ashley Cole played, defenders were defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's compare how many fucking clean sheets, or let's compare how many times Ashley Cole pocketed prime Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So it's like, so yeah. I mean, I think they're all fair shouts. I think I'm gonna pick Jed Spence just because of
Fair.
if we were to. He overrates himself, even if other people don't overrate him. So
Yeah.
he probably deserves a place in this team on the back of that. So we'll go Spence.
Yep.
Let's go first centre back then.
Christian Romero.
Oh yeah, that's for me.
Reckless, error prone. Most yellows this season. He's got the most reds this season. He was a part of that atrocious Tottenham team last season that conceded 65 goals. Last season himself, he played 18, and out of them 18, he kept 2 clean sheets. He's living off the back of the World Cup win as well.
I think as well he's just like got this. This name might come out, but he's got like that thing like Lissandro Martinez. You know, he's the butcher, and it's like, and it's Romero. He's super hard, and it's like, yeah, but he's a fucking liability.
Yeah, he is
Like,
a liability.
he's a massive liability. You would not want him in your team.
No.
He scores goals, fair play.
Yeah.
Like, but if you're not on the pitch for 4 games now, when you're in a relegation battle, like, you don't want that from your captain,
Yeah.
do you?
If you want
No.
2 centre backs who are going to score goals, then Van der Ven and Romero will be up there. But you don't want your centre backs to score your goals, do you?
Yeah,
You want them
want
to
to stop
defend
them as
and
well,
not get
yeah.
red cards and yellow cards.
Yeah, well, he was one of my centre-back choices, so I'll throw him in for this one
for
as
this
well.
one as well. Yeah.
He is, as you said, disciplinary liability, and he's also
Yeah.
a liability because he charges up the pitch and he gets so many goals because he's constantly out of position.
I think as well he's like captain and he shouldn't be captain.
Yeah.
He's not the right leader. He's
No.
come out and fucking slagged everything off that there is. It's like you're in a relegation battle, mate. Like,
Yeah.
get people on side, you know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think
Uh,
Tottenham fans would disagree with us.
Yeah. Yeah, they might. I don't know. It seems like he's got a funny relationship with the
A
fans,
bit of a
doesn't he?
Cult hero
Yeah.
to some, isn't he? I
Yeah.
think, but
But losing them at the minute.
yeah.
I've got Van Dijk. Yeah, I think it just has to be. He's so overrated. Again, like one of them who was amazing, but just isn't anymore.
I think we've got to give him a bit of leeway. He's 34,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's like,
But the argument is now who's currently the most overrated Premier League players, and right now, Van Dijk is massively overrated because
it's true.
people
at the minute.
because he's not the player he was. He's
No,
he's
not
fallen
even
off
close.
a cliff.
No.
Yeah.
But also Liverpool aren't performing great. But I mean, people might already know I'm not a big Van Dijk fan. I think he's fucking hyped to high heaven because all he does is fucking run away from people rather than tackle them.
Yeah.
But if you'd have put Van Dijk in not against Romero,
Yeah.
I'd have wanted to pick Van Dijk. But I think right now you can't not put Romero in just
Yeah.
because of how much of a fucking liability he is.
Yeah.
Like, so we have to put him in. And then let's go for his centre-back partner.
Is Kanaya, so it's Van Dijk's centre-back partner. Proven this season how overrated he is. Inconsistencies in his performance, including poor positioning, lapse in concentration, high-profile errors. He's got 5 clean sheets all season in the games that he's played.
Yeah.
It's not good enough for Liverpool.
I don't really disagree with the Konato dish out, but just to keep the conversation going, I'm going to chuck James Tarkowski in there. He's someone who consistently is part of defences that don't really concede. But what I would argue in that case is that he plays in teams that historically have played low blocks and are very defensive-minded.
Yeah.
And also, I looked up the stats, and Tarkowski is joint top of the Premier League history for the most errors leading directly to goals.
Wow. Yeah, it's insane. I've got Ruben Diaz.
That was another one I was
Yes.
thinking about.
Yeah, just the same thing. He used to be really good and still kind of has that to his name, but he's
Yeah,
not
that
the player he
label,
was.
but he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think when you look at Man City now, you'd play, like, Gay coming in, shown he's head and shoulders above Ruben Diaz.
Oh, definitely.
And I love that Kusanov as well. I think he's better than, like, on form and stuff. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because sometimes players go through a bit of a dip and he might get it back, but I don't think he's been good for a couple of years, has he?
No.
It's been like,
Yeah.
you know, you thought maybe Bang and Maya Jama might have given him a bit of oomph back in his life, you know.
I have found out this morning, though, that they've recently been burgled, and maybe that's part of the reason for the downturn.
He's
in the
just
form.
scared, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a few other players you could have, like Senesi. Like,
Yeah,
that was
like,
a show, yeah.
He gets great. He's in my FPL because he gets loads of defensive contributions because he's always out of fucking position.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, but he's going to go on a free in the summer, probably end up somewhere good. But I actually don't think he's a massively great defender.
He's been linked with a lot of bigger clubs in the summer, but Bournemouth are still so porous.
Yeah.
And he's obviously part of that.
Yeah. So I think you've got him. You've got
Van der Ven potentially. As
yeah,
well.
Van der Ven could fall into that category. Obviously, we had Van Dijk on the last one.
Pierce Merchant.
Yeah, I think with Kanate, it's like he's had. If we're going to say Van Dijk is in the conversation for this, Kanate also has to play next to Van Dijk. Van Dijk has to play next to Kanate. So I think there's that.
But Kanate was wanted by Real Madrid. Like, Real Madrid were going to have him.
Yeah.
Like, that's how rare he was. Like,
yeah, but is he overrated now? Because no one wants him now.
That's the
so
thing.
like right now,
is he overrated? That much?
He was overrated, but is he overrated right now?
Potentially, no.
You know,
I mean, everyone thinks he's shit. So
yeah, I think we have to put Ruben Diaz in.
Yeah,
on the basis that he's even been dropped out of the team. But like, if you were to ask people if they think he's good, they'd probably all still say yes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Again, maybe City fans can let us know in the comments what they feel of him. But yeah, Ruben Diaz. So let's go our first central midfielder then.
Well, I'll go for I've gone Joe Linton, and reason is he is not a good passer of the ball. Consistently giving the ball away, should have been replaced at the start of the season. Any Newcastle fan that tells you that Joe Linton is good enough to play for Newcastle has not watched Joe Linton. He's not a good midfielder. He was a good midfielder. He's not anymore.
I don't agree. I think that he has a job,
and his job is just to clash into people. And
it's a ball carrier. That's what he does. He gets the ball and he carries the ball and he's strong and he wins the ball back. He's literally like a traditional box-to-box midfielder without the goals, basically. Like, you know, and I think that his issues this season have come through injury, but also through change of our midfield three's gone from a 6 and 2 8s to a flat 3, and it's fucked all of them up other than Bruno.
Yeah.
Like, Tonali's not the same player, Jolinton's not the same player, but I also think that in an argument for overrated, I don't think anybody overrates Jolinton anymore. I don't think any of us say he's a world-class midfielder like people might have said a year, 2 years ago.
When he was getting in the Brazil squad.
Yeah,
this is more Newcastle fans kind of like overhyping him a bit and just like But I think don't get me wrong, he has been good for us, like completely. Like, that 3 midfield, it was probably one of the best midfields like 3-4 years ago. But right now, I really can't see how Joe Linton anyone can rate him in terms of like how much he just gives the ball away.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think he's not the player he was, but I also don't think he's as rated by general football fans as he was either. But yeah, Dan, what do you think?
So sticking on Newcastle midfielders, if we're going with ones who are actually rated at the moment, Tonali for me, because again, I looked at his stats. He's got 1 assist this season. That's it in terms of his goal involvements. And again, I've watched his many times. Joe Linton worries me more for kind of derbies because he gives me. To me, Newcastle have more impetus when he's on the pitch.
Yeah.
Whereas Tonali has just looked very passive this season. And I know, like last season, I thought he was your best player last season.
Yeah.
And I would have had him as the one player that I would take from Newcastle's team. But watching him this season, that's a player who's completely gone backwards. And I don't know if he's just kind of turned it off because he's just kind of playing for a move or whatever. But being linked with Man City and clubs like that, that's not a Man City midfielder this season.
I think he's been, like I've just said, I think the system's changed. And he's gone from sitting in front of the back four, getting the ball and dictating play, to having to run around even more than he was before. Obviously, I know he's probably got some personal things going on. He's had a baby and all of that type of stuff, which is not an excuse. But I think there's definitely an argument because a lot of people still rate him as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, but he isn't. on form.
No,
He
it's
could
not.
get back there if he got back to last season's form. But if we're talking about right now, is he overrated? Like, yes.
Because
Yeah.
the transfer fees being talked about was 100 million, and
Yeah.
that's Declan Rice money, right?
Yeah, and he's not in that category at the moment,
According
is
to
he?
Paul's goals, he is. He's up there better than Declan Rice.
I've got Rodri. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think Kevin, again, it's the same thing. He was
still-
unbelievable.
He was rubbish on the weekend. He gave the
Mm.
ball away so much in the Liverpool game. Yeah, I think it's so. Before we pick the midfield three, shall we go through all of
Okay.
the three?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I have some players I could throw out, but I don't want to throw them out
Fair.
if somebody then picks
Yeah.
picks up. So, who's your second?
Carlos Baleba. A significant decline in last season's form, reduced involvement, and a perceived £100 million valuation. He's been subbed off early for Brighton loads of times this season. He's just not like the player that everyone thought he was last season.
Do you think that again? There's an argument for maybe right now he's not rated as like I think if we were to sit here and say like he's not the player that he was, so maybe he's not as rated by football fans right now. So would he be? But if you were to look at like what people thought of him in the summer compared to what he is now,
Yeah.
like 1,000,000%, I
Like,
think.
he's made like a few errors for Brighton this
Yeah.
season. And I just think like that's not 100. If you're going to put £100 million on someone, they have to be rated. And I just think for the way he's played this season, he's overrated.
I've also taken Baleba on my list, so I'll add to it now.
Yeah.
So I found that Baleba had 3,000 plus touches in the Premier League, and only 20 of those had been in the opposition penalty area, which obviously you can say that's not his game. But Brighton, especially this season, aren't exactly defensively solid. They
Yeah.
haven't kicked on as a club this
No.
season, and he certainly hasn't kicked
Well,
on.
I think he's been in and out of the team as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
So,
he has, yeah.
like even the managers considering
Especially
it.
with Gross coming back.
Yeah. Josh?
A controversial one, but Morgan Rogers. He's just right. I think because I'm hearing talks of like he should be starting over Bellingham and that for England, and it's just not. He's not there. He's not that good.
On
I think,
current
he,
form,
I think he should be the left winger.
What?
I really think he should be the left
Yeah,
winger
he
for
could be.
England.
I'd play Rashford personally. But
Yeah, but I just don't think I don't think he should be in them conversations yet. I think he's a good player, but I think people are getting a bit carried away with him.
I think the argument I would say with that to back that up is that fuck me, he goes missing sometimes.
Yeah, he's just
Like,
gone.
and again, because he's if he was at Man City or Chelsea maybe or one of the top teams, he'd be under scrutiny. If he went to Real Madrid like Bellingham and he turned in some of the performances he does for Villa sometimes, he'd be fucking all in the papers and everything. But because he's at Villa, sometimes he's so quiet, but then another game he'll be unbelievable. He can be inconsistent, can't he? I think
I think at the start of the season, it took quite a while
to get going.
But
But I think, like you're saying, if people are putting him in a conversation with Bellingham,
Yeah.
then you should be playing unreal 4 out of 5 games at least.
Yeah.
You should be like making a difference to the game, whereas I think he's probably more 2 out of 5 games that he really makes a difference. Maybe
it's been probably Villa's most consistent performer this season, though.
yeah,
definitely not. He was
No?
shocking the first
I'd
10
say
games of the season.
They all were. Like Watkins absolutely fucked it.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
those 10 games.
Consa.
But we're not. Yeah,
Consa's
But
probably-
since they've had that run up to the top of the
But-
table,
if you look at even if you look at the FPL, for example, you look at his scores. He has a lot of 2s.
it does. But like once they kicked into gear, he was to me
Just look
the
back
talisman
now.
for that.
If we look back now, I bet
Right, let's do it.
I bet
He's in my team at the minute.
he's in mine as well. That's how I know he's let me down.
No, I had him and Watkins to start with in the season. They were both garbage for
God,
the
so
first 6 or
bad,
7
yeah.
games. But
Because I think the argument was 10 points, 2 points, 8 points. That was against Newcastle.
look
so
at
I
that
don't
spell
count.
from about game week 20 onwards.
Yeah, 1 point. This is exactly what we're saying. 2 points, 15, 15, 1, 1, 5, 3, 2, 8. So he's like, what we're saying is 2 in 5 games, he's performing. But obviously it's a team game. It's not just one player. But if you're going to be Jude Bellingham level of like comparison, then you need to do more, in my opinion. I don't think he's like overrated because he is a world-class footballer, but I don't think he's Jude Bellingham.
No.
Like nowhere near that, I don't think. But also maybe if he played for a Real Madrid, he would be able to have that much more impact because he's got better players around him and stuff. So
I don't think we can put him in Bellingham's bracket now, but like for attacking midfielders in the Premier League this season, he's one of the most effective.
Yeah, I mean,
I would agree.
Yeah, what would you have, him or Bruno Fernandes?
No, I'll have Bruno Fernandes over
All
anyone
day.
in the Premier League.
You know, it's like I think you have to look at like the conversations, what people say about Morgan Rogers is they put
Yeah.
him in Bruno Fernandes level thing, and he isn't, but he is still a really good footballer, I think.
Yeah.
So, what about the last central midfielder then?
Javi Simmons.
Although I would say, compared to where he was when he came in to now, I think he's probably one of
Yeah.
Tottenham's best players.
So the point I was going to make was that I really think he's just in the wrong team.
Yeah.
He was wanted by PSG and Barcelona, having a fight over him. Like, you don't have a player who is wanted by those two clubs who isn't good, but
I
the
wanted him.
price tag that they put on him and the performances that he's given, 1 goal, 4 assists all season, 60 million price tag. I think he's got a lack of end product as well.
I think it's really hard to judge players in this Spurs team as well, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
But he is rated, and the performances he's put in this season have been so underwhelming, so that's why he's gone in my overrated.
I think, like I just said, I think he's turned a corner.
Mhm.
He's definitely like one of their better players now,
Yeah,
but he's still not playing at Leipzig level where he was
Yeah.
at Leipzig, is he? I don't think.
but to be the best player in a Tottenham team is like being the best player in like a League One team at the minute.
But I think if you watch him though, like he's carrying the ball, he's
Mhm.
winning the ball back, he's doing the stuff. But when he gives the ball to anyone else,
Yeah,
they're rubbish.
yeah.
Damn what you're
I've
saying.
gone to the same midfield for Conor Gallagher. I think Conor Gallagher was brought in. A lot of fans thought that he was going to be a big influence on turning things around
Yeah.
for Spurs. But for me, he's a player who always had a little bit of hype behind his name. But I know he did okay at Atletico Madrid. But for me, he's never really imposed himself on the Premier League.
It's just
neither-
a runner, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just a runner.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
He was personally at fault for the second goal, what Jacob Ramsey
Yeah.
scored yesterday.
And for me, for like the hype that's been around him in the early part of his career and going on, he's just never kicked on and never imposed himself. So it's him for me.
I got Ryan Gravenberch.
Yeah, I think he's fucking well overrated.
I think he's well, like the amount
They were
of
saying he
praise
was the best
gets.
6 in the world when
Yeah,
they won
I
the
know.
league last year.
Insane, yeah. Like they were talking as if he was the new Rodri, like in his prime, and nah, not even close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to agree with that. I think he's not been great this season.
no,
I think last season the league wasn't as competitive as it was this year. A lot of teams dropped off last year, didn't they? Big time,
Yeah.
I think. And even then, it was like, I remember when Tonali obviously had an amazing season last season, and Liverpool fans were saying Gravenberch was better than Tonali, and it's like, even in Gravenberch is not a better footballer than Tonali. Full stop. He's not a better footballer than fucking Casemiro. Casemiro's better than Gravenberch, but he was touted as like the best 6 in the world.
yeah.
Like, so I'm putting him in because I 1,000,000% agree with that. I think we have to put Belieber in because you two both had Belieber. And then what are we thinking? I think I don't really want to put Xavi Simons in. There's an argument for Conor Gallagher.
I think he was good at Atletico though. Like, I
Tonali.
really think he was good.
Rodri.
Joel Linton.
Yeah, I think part of me wants to put Rodri in because I think that he's living off that Ballon d'Or win,
Yeah.
but he
Which he
has just
shouldn't
come
have won.
back from a fuck off bad injury.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think we have to. I think I might have to put Tonali in.
That's fair.
I think not because I love him, but if we're just talking purely about what people say and where they position him and his performances and what he's doing right now, then I think he's definitely overrated. So our midfield 3 is 3 DMs, 3 sixes, Gravenberch, Belieber and Tonali. So at least with our shit defence and our shit sixes, we might not concede any goals.
Yeah.
And we've got Emi Martinez fucking going mental in the goal
Dancing
as well.
in the goal, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So we're going to go, let's go right wing first.
Bukayo Saka. And
Nah.
reason being 10 goals and 13 assists in the last 2 Premier League seasons. I think Arsenal's proven they don't need him this season as much. They hyped him up so much about being this pivotal player. They need him.
I think it's hard to agree with you because I love him. Like,
Don't get
as
me
in,
wrong, good player for
I
Arsenal.
love him,
But
and
he's
like
just he's not the best right winger in the world. He's not.
No.
He shouldn't have been
He
in
is
contention for
definitely-
Ballon d'Or and all this
they're
stuff.
talking all this stuff, and when you see his numbers,
Yeah.
it's like non-penalty goals are like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you could say for years Arsenal didn't have a striker and all of this, but like he should get more assists.
10 goals in 2 years.
And it's like, and yeah, so he's definitely overrated by a lot of fans.
Yeah.
But he is a really good footballer,
Yeah.
and I do love him as a person as well.
Yeah.
But I think Arsenal, with his injuries this season, have just proven that they just don't need him.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the injuries are creeping into his game as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, Dan, what are you saying?
So it's probably next level up from that because I love this player. I think he's argument for the best in his position in the Premier League ever. But if we're going on the argument of this season only, Mo Salah. Mo Salah doesn't anymore justify his place in the Liverpool team. His finishing has been way off this season. He's scuffed so many chances.
Everything's been off.
Yeah,
hasn't it?
his
Like,
pace and what a player he was last season was like his Indian summer in the Premier League, and like I've loved him from the start. He's been me go-to FPL captain all the time, always fucking locked in for the triple captain. Last season, fucking what a season! But this season, Mo Salah's been right off, and I just think he's come to that point that catches up with everyone.
My only counter argument for it is I do think a lot of people agree he's fallen off a cliff and he isn't.
yeah.
So like, in terms of like maybe some Liverpool fans or maybe like the pundits, because obviously they have such loyalty to people where like they still rate him as amazing. Whereas I think if you were to go and speak to Joe Public down the road now and say like, oh, what do you think of Salah? They'll be like, oh, he's done. I think a lot of people would have that. So if we're talking like we have been with some of these that we're talking about like right now and what people think, there's a little bit of an argument for people not rating him as highly now. And I think the fact that he got dropped out of the team and the stuff, like a lot of people were like, good, like he shouldn't be playing. But he does obviously still have that reputation of being like, you know, I mean, again, maybe people talking about he's going to go for 100 million, but that's probably only because it's Saudi and they want to make him a face. But if Saudi money wasn't around, like what would you get for Salah now? 30 million?
Yeah, I mean, was he like 33? He's a 32-year-old winger, and it's like,
I personally think the biggest mistake Liverpool made was fucking signing him and Van Dijk to contracts.
Yeah,
massive contracts when they were at the risk. They're at the age where you can literally fall off a cliff overnight, can't you? And it's proven for both of them.
When did they sign those contracts? Was it
like back end of the season, weren't it? Last season, yeah.
And
then again, those two were pivotal for their title last season.
Yeah, but back end of last season, Salah didn't do shit, did he, for fucking ages? Josh, what you say?
I had Salah as well.
Yeah,
I do, because I think he's just got that name. He is like an actual world superstar, like, and he's just not there anymore. He's not even close.
I'm going to put a point. I just can't like put Salah. I couldn't put Salah in just because like he is probably the greatest right wing in the Premier League.
I struggle.
Is he right now?
He's not right now, but I don't think.
Who's overrated right now?
It's like booting
You've literally just backed up their point by saying he's amazing. He's this.
Yeah, but I don't.
When he fucking isn't.
I don't think people rate him as highly this season just because of like his age getting on. Obviously, this fallout with the manager and things. I don't know.
I think it takes a while for people's ratings to fall off, though. Like they catch up with.
Yeah.
And for last season, when he was legitimately probably the best player in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And the degree of the fall off, and I don't know if people not rating him has caught up with that yet.
Yeah, I think we have to go Salah because two of you have
that
done
was my
Salah,
point because two of them said it.
And I think
giving a count.
I think the argument I'd have also, I agree with the Saka one, but also I think because he's been injured this season. And like you're saying, it's been proven they don't need him.
Yeah.
He's been so like out of the conversation as such, hasn't he? Whereas I think the Salah one is, especially at the start of the season, it was like a big thing, wasn't it? So yeah, we'll go Salah, but I think you could have put Saka in there.
I wonder if
Saka
Saka does better under a more attack-minded manager.
Maybe, yeah. I think as well, if he just got a proper consistent run without injuries and stuff, I think.
Or having Trent down that right as well really helped.
He's got to be more consistent.
Because he's so good for
England.
He's so good for England, isn't he? Like, so I think.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about Saka.
He's got to demand penalties. He's got to be greedier with penalties as well, not just give them to Gyökeres to pad his stats.
Yeah. Right, left wing.
Doku. Bad decision making in the final third, inconsistent final product. 1 goal, 4 assists this season, 3 goals, 6 assists last season. So if you compare him to previous wingers that City have had, like Sterling, Sane, even Cherky this season, he's just not up to the level of Man City at all. And I just think he's so overrated.
Counter argument to that would be, I think if we all sat around this table, we'd all say, I don't know, he's like fucking super hot and cold. I don't think even Pep rates him
I don't
super
think
highly. So
no.
I think you're 100% right. He's a professional footballer playing for Man City, and he's not good enough
No.
for what he does because he's so inconsistent. But the semi-counter argument would be like, I don't know if that many people really...
Yeah, but having a, I think people do rate him. That's the problem. And like, it's like having a striker like Haaland there and getting 4 assists is just crazy.
I just don't think I go off the conversations I have with people about football. I just don't think anyone rates him. Or they rate him,
Yeah.
but 1 in 5 games he's really good.
Like
You know,
a
so-
Saint Maximin or something.
Yeah, like
innit?
a Saint Maximin, where it's like you won't. I like him in them good
Yeah.
games he has, but I wouldn't pick him in my team
Mhm.
type thing. So yeah, it's a fair argument though. Dan, what you saying?
I'm going Anthony Gordon.
Good.
I know. Like from listening to you all season, that you think he's dog shit.
Yeah,
Now, and a lot of Newcastle fans will, but clearly Eddie Howe still thinks he's like one of the first names on his team sheet.
yeah,
I would say the general perception in England of football fans hasn't caught up with Newcastle fans' changing perception of Anthony Gordon.
yeah.
Again, you can't really argue those stats over the last year or more in terms of. I know he's just scored against Liverpool, I think it was, from open play, but until that in the Premier League, no goals.
And
no
fairness,
assists.
he was good last night. He was really good
Yeah,
last
really
night.
good. Yeah.
Champions League. he's
But
been
that
brilliant.
doesn't make up for it.
Champions
Do you know what I mean?
League, I've told you though, there's loads of teams from Farmers Leagues playing in that.
Yeah.
Loads of Sunday teams playing in that.
Mentioned before, Tottenham are 4th.
Exactly. And he played against Tottenham last. He looked good against Tottenham last night again. Pub team.
Champions League team. That's
I
what.
think
But,
you're right as well, because he was so good
Yep.
for us, and I
Mhm.
think you're right in saying that probably outside of there are a lot of football fans who watch a lot of football who will probably agree with us and saying he's overrated, but I think if you look at football in general, like you say, it hasn't caught up yet. He's still being touted for like 70, 80 million to Liverpool
Yeah,
and stuff like, and it's like, so for the fact that he can even come into that conversation, if we sold him, we'd get good money based purely off of his age and what he's done before.
Yeah.
And if he spoke to a club, he might just be like, I fucking hate the manager, or I fucking hate it up there. So if you can get me where I want to be, I'll go back to the player I was, So he'll probably end up going for a lot of money if he does go. But he's definitely, anyone who says that anything he's done in the last 18 months is good enough is blind.
Yeah,
basically.
I've got Gordon as well. Yeah, I think he just seems to go missing completely, and like
He bottles everything.
he used to just be like so hard working, right? Chase everything down. If he lost the ball, he was tracking back like straight away, and it just doesn't seem to be there. Apart from like Champions League night,
Yeah.
where he's on a big stage, or like where it's a massive game and he kind of wants to look good, but it just doesn't feel like his head's there anymore. Like,
Do you think as well, like we've spoke about plenty of times, where he was really good when teams would come at us and there's space, so he'd run into
Yeah.
space, whereas now he's got like, he's having to beat the defender like on the edge of the 18-yard box, and he don't have it in him. Whereas
Yeah.
like before, he'd be beating the defender by kicking it past him and running after it and having pace and on the break. Sometimes in these Champions League games, when you're playing PSG and teams like that, it's like it used to be for us in the Premier League, where like
Yeah.
we're the underdog as such, so we play that way and it
yeah,
helps his game more. Whereas when
I loved him defensively though. I honestly, the work he used to put in, like chasing down defenders, he never gave anyone a minute, and he'd track back. He was always like all over the place, and that just seems to have gone. And I think that was like a massive part of his game, like how much he'd turn the ball over for us. And I don't think now, if he's still starting for England, that's ridiculous.
Like having Isaac in the team really helped.
Yeah, it did.
Players
Yeah.
like Gordon and Murphy as well. Like,
But
Yeah.
you're definitely right with the, with the defensive thing. Because I remember I watched the game the other week. I think he got tackled and he fell over and he just like sat on the floor
Yeah.
for like a minute and didn't track back at all. And I was just like, that isn't right. But
putting his hair bubble back in, I think.
yeah, so Gordon can go in, and if he gets a haircut, we'll take him out. Put some so the final position then, striker. Who are we going for?
Wissa. High expectations following a 50 million transfer. Inconsistent goal return. Scored 1 goal all season. 0.9 shots per game for a striker this season. That's not on target. That's for a striker. That's a shot. Averaging less than 1 shot per game is atrocious. And I feel like he played well under Brentford. He played well at Brentford because of the way they played. And if you're a striker, again said it before. If you can't adapt to the way people play, other teams play, then I just don't think you're good enough. £50 million is not worth it.
55, wasn't it? I think
55. I think
yeah.
Elanga was 55. I think he might have been 50, or the way around, one of them. But either way, 50 million just doesn't warrant, or 55 doesn't warrant.
I think it's a hard one because he had an injury, but he's been back now, and he's like
he's played 14 games or 15 games since he's back.
He looks like miles off it, doesn't he?
Yeah,
like miles off it.
You don't notice him, like he doesn't touch the ball, like, and if he does, he's passing it out wide, running the box for like a.
But he's slow
5'4", yeah,
compared to what he was as well. I think, and we said earlier off camera, obviously, you know, sometimes an injury can just like completely fuck up a player, and you worry that maybe that has done that for him.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Dan, what you saying?
They would dispute Whistler because I know like no Newcastle fans rate him, and I think even like in the summer people did think it was overpriced, 55 million.
Yeah, it was like if you could get him for 30 or 35, you were like,
fair enough,
good, but yeah.
But like, so I've gone for, and again this might seem hypocritical because again whether he's rated is up for debate at this point, but I've gone for Mateta. So Mateta's a player who seemed to have a lot of hype as a centre forward, and he had a very good season last year. Really did well under Glasner, but up till that point of his career, he had never lived up to his potential from early days in France. In this season, he's got an all-right scoring record, but if you look at the amount of chances he's missed, very wasteful. Even that game that he scored the hat-trick, I think he had like another like 3 or 4 chances, like absolute sitters that he missed in it. So it seems like Mateta's a player who needs umpteen chances to actually finish one.
He's second for big chances missed because
Is he?
he was potentially going to go in mine.
Yeah, he's up there with Watkins, I think, in terms of XG underperformance and that. So yeah, I've had Mateta.
Yeah,
I've got Gyökeres. I just remember when he, like when that signing happened. Obviously, his numbers were insane beforehand, but like Arsenal fans were. They thought he was going to be better than Haaland. All sorts. Like he was meant to be the best striker in the Premier League or up there, and it's just been nowhere near really, has it?
I think watching a few games, Arsenal just do not play to his strengths in any remote way whatsoever. He makes runs, and this is, sorry, I should have said fucking Odegaard should be in this midfield three.
Yeah,
without a fucking doubt.
Yeah.
So he should definitely be in there, but because he wasn't brought up, we won't. But you can see. Like his numbers are okay. He was overrated because he was like scored all them goals and everyone was like he's going to be incredible. But I think it's harsh on him because they just don't pass him the ball. Like he runs in behind and Odegaard just fucking turns round. When he scored that goal, you know, when Saka passed it to Ben White down the line and Ben White crossed it in and he scored, and he like refused to celebrate with Saka because he was like, you should have just fucking crossed it. I think he's like. It's hard because I think if he played for another team, he might have lived up to that.
Fucking
that potential.
The only time they've played to his strengths is when he came on against us at the weekend.
Yeah. I think they are starting to now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's fucking grown a pair and fucking said something,
maybe it's the frustration of not starting.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely, from what people were saying in the summer, he's like overrated massively.
Yeah.
I just feel a bit for him because I feel maybe we haven't got to see the best of him.
Yeah.
I think I want to go with Mateta because I agree like 1,000,000%. I actually like him.
Yeah.
And I always put him in my FPL, but I put him in for a max of like 2 or 3 weeks. He has like a red hot patch, and when he scores, I'm like, right, he's going to score for another 2-3 weeks. And then I'm like, I need to get him out because he's going to flop for 4 or 5 weeks.
And you cannot watch Palace when he's in your FPL team because it's so frustrating the amount of chances he misses.
And like you say, I think he was linked with Man United and every fucking team you could imagine. And that guy should not be playing for those teams. And so I think we'll put Mateta in. I think,
Some honourable mentions though. I think Odegaard's definitely one.
Odegaard should be.
He was in mine, and I took him out. But I mean, I had him. He just doesn't. The position he plays, he doesn't get the same numbers as like a Palmer, or even an Enzo Fernandez. I think has best.
I like Enzo Fernandez.
I like Enzo Fernandez.
I think there's a few. You could argue Watkins because Watkins is like super rated, isn't he? And he's not had a great season.
If it had been 2 weeks ago, I would have had Cole Palmer in mine.
Barry, we fucking love Barry, and he's
Barry's
actually, he's actually not very good.
Oh,
is
no,
he?
Barry's the most underrated player in the Premier League.
Maybe
man.
falls
He's
into the
absolutely-
underrated.
Since we started,
Next week we'll do the underrated 11.
Yeah.
since we
Yeah.
adopted Barry as a podcast mascot, shall we say, he's been absolutely doing bits.
I'm
in
just
the Premier
telling
League.
you, I watched the highlights of the game last night. The ball bounced back to him from about 6 yards out, and he hit it with his left foot, and it just went over there.
Even
And I was like, "You are Barry."
even the best have an off day.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I think there's a few other players you could put in, isn't there? I think
Mhm.
it's just it's hard. When you talk like overrated,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
Wharton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Adam
maybe.
Wharton?
it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah,
kind of.
I think he's really good, but like
Uh,
maybe he's not as good. He's not Elliot Anderson. That's
Yeah.
shown when he came on that England game, but it's hard because it was only one game. But Adam Wharton probably is in a similar category to Belieber in the sense of where people are. He's not 100 million, is he? He's not
Yeah,
a 100
no.
million pound player. He's not a Caicedo or a Rice.
I think Matoma could be a shout as well.
Yeah, I agree.
70 million. He was wanted by Tottenham, I think, a year ago, and he's
Yeah.
just.
I think
It's
this
complete
he
flop,
falls into that category we were talking about where people of this season not rating him
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
high, are they? But when we're talking about right now, it's like
Mhm.
it's people like Odegaard. He's
Yeah.
I think Foden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But again, maybe people aren't rating Foden as highly as they
Mhm.
were, are they? But he's a bit similar to Mateta, and he has them
streaky.
patches.
Yep.
So streaky as a player, but
and that's why Pep doesn't seem to trust him.
yeah,
Like, really, he should have. If you looked at what he was 3 years ago, he should have been a fucking staple.
He
in
should
that
be
midfield.
in the conversation for PFA Player of the Year
Yep.
every single season with the
Mhm.
ability.
Even
he
Ballon
has.
d'Or, he should be in.
Yeah,
If he lived up to that form from 3 years ago.
yeah. He's no Scott
100%.
McTominay, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's, cool. So that's the overrated 11. It'll be interesting to see what comments we get. I'd like to know other people's overrated 11 if there's any players we missed or anyone in. I mean, I don't think there's anyone in this list that someone could say shouldn't be in the maybe
Yeah.
shouldn't be in there if, like we're saying, Odegaard should be in over
Yeah.
someone else. But you can't argue they shouldn't be in the conversation.
Some people will dispute Salah just because of what he's done, but
Yeah.
like, you've got to understand that we fucking love Salah as a player. It's just that this season he's just not at it anymore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tonali will be an argument as well. But we're going off right now
Yeah.
and performances and stuff. So cool, we'll do that. We'll be back next week with an underrated 11. We'll get Jeff in on that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Nice one. Cool.